Bats and Other Animals of the Night by Joyce Milton. Illustrated by Jim Deal. On a quiet street near the edge of town, a family is getting ready for bed. The children pull on their pajamas and brush their teeth. Before they go to sleep, their father reads them a bedtime story. Up and down the block, the lights in the neighbors' houses are going out. Soon, the whole town will be quiet. For most humans, night is a time to rest. But in the animal kingdom, many creatures are nocturnal. They are most active after dark. All day, this small pond deep in the woods was quiet. Now that the sun has gone down, the air is filled with sound. Crickets chirp. Tiny frogs called peepers make a noise like jingling bells. The big bullfrog can be heard from far away. A skunk waddles down to the mud at the edge of the pond. It paws through wet leaves, looking for worms and beetles to eat. Soon, a mother raccoon arrives with her 2 babies. She turns over a rock and finds some juicy slugs. The raccoon dips the slugs in the pond before she and her young eat them. A red fox also comes to the pond looking for dinner. Foxes hunt small animals like mice and frogs, but when they are hungry, they will take a chance on bigger prey. The mother raccoon hurries her babies out of the fox's way. The fox inches his way through the tall grass. For a long time, he doesn't move at all. Suddenly, a frog jumps, but the fox jumps faster. One of the eeriest sounds in the night woods is made by the barred owl. Sometimes it yaps like a dog. The barred owl sits on a branch, bobbing its head from side to side. It is listening for the sound of a mouse scurrying across the forest floor. The owl's hearing is very sharp. When it is ready to swoop down on its prey, the owl takes off. Silently, it flies through the darkness. But this mouse is lucky. It gets away. Now other winged creatures dart low over the pond. They are bats. Even on the darkest nights, bats fly surely and quickly. They catch insects midair. One bat flies straight toward a tree. Will it crash? No. It veers away just in time. To find its way in the dark, the bat uses a special sense called echolocation. As it flies, the bat makes noises. The sounds bounce off solid objects, causing echoes. The bat hears the echoes and knows when it is headed for a tree, and when it is near a fat moth or a tiny mosquito. When a bat needs to rest, it hangs upside down by its hind feet. Now that it is still, the bat looks like a mouse. Mice and bats are both mammals. Bats' bodies are covered with fur, not feathers. But the bat is the only mammal that can fly. The bat belongs to a special group called the hand-wing mammals. Its wings are really long fingers joined by a flap of skin. At dawn, a female bat leaves the pond and flies to a tumble-down shed at the edge of the woods. She hangs from a beam and soon falls asleep. Other bats roost in the shed too. They are all females. The shed is a safe place for them to have their babies. One day in late June, the female bat is ready to give birth. She turns around so that she is hanging by her thumbs. When the baby bat comes out of her body, The mother bat spreads a flap of skin between her hind legs. She uses the flap of skin as a kind of sling to catch her baby. She has to be quick. If she misses, the baby has a long way to fall. By autumn, the baby bats will be strong enough to fly for many miles. Their mothers will take them to a cave in the mountains. Male bats winter in the cave too. The bats sleep through the cold months. Some kinds of female bats live in caves during spring and summer too. The caves become giant nurseries for baby bats. How many bats can live in a bat nursery? There are 20 million free-tailed bats living in this cave in Texas. The baby bats hang close together. In just 1 square foot of space, there are 500 baby bats. Even so, each mother finds and feeds her own baby. Baby bats drink milk, but the mother bats have to go outside to hunt for their own food. Late in the day, they begin to stir. About 15 minutes after sunset, thousands and thousands fly out of the cave. There are so many bats that they look like a plume of smoke. Most American bats eat mosquitoes, moths, and other insects, up to 1,000 in a single hour. But not all bats eat insects. The flying fox is a fruit-eating bat. It lives in hot climates. By day, flying foxes roost in trees. The flying fox weighs just 2 or 3 pounds, but its open wings measure 6 feet across. It is the biggest bat in the world. The fisherman bat uses its big hind feet to catch fish. This bat waits until the fish are close to the surface. Slowly, it skims over the water until it spots a small fish. Then it hooks its catch with the strong claws it has. With 1 foot, the bat scoops the fish into its mouth. Vampire bats drink blood. A vampire bat creeps across the back of a cow, using its folded wings to inch itself along. The sharp teeth bite through the cow's thick hide. If the cow flicks its tail, the bat hops out of the way, but it usually comes back. Vampire bats live in Latin America. The kind of bats that live in the United States and Canada do not drink blood. They do not attack people. Bats and other nocturnal animals live all around the world, but one of the best places to find them is in the desert. Many desert animals spend the day napping out of the hot sun. Kangaroo rats, ground squirrels, and other small furry animals stay in their burrows. After sunset, they come out to enjoy the cool air and look for food. But the night can be dangerous. A hungry rattlesnake waits beside a pack rat's burrow. As soon as the little rat scurries out, the snake strikes. Other desert creatures also live in burrows. The trapdoor spider does not spin a web. Instead, it uses the silk that comes out of its body to build a door for its burrow. At night, the spider hides beneath the half-open door. When an ant wanders past, the spider grabs it. All day long, this scorpion has been resting in the shade under a rock. Now it is ready to hunt. The scorpion grabs its prey with its claws, and it stings it with its tail. The stinger contains a poison strong enough to paralyze a beetle or a small lizard. If a scorpion gets scared, it may even sting a person. Usually, scorpion stings are not serious, but they do hurt. One of the shyest of all nocturnal animals is the slow loris. The slow loris is a primate, like apes and monkeys. It spends its whole life in the treetops of the tropical forest. By day, it sleeps in a hollow tree. When night falls, the slow loris begins to creep from one tree branch to another. It moves very slowly. If it feels threatened, the slow loris can give off a bad smell. Sometimes it scares its enemies away just by staring at them. The slow loris's big round eyes shine in the dark. They look as if they must belong to a much larger animal. Feeding at night is another way that the slow loris protects itself. It stays out of the way of enemies that are active during the day. Feeding after dark also makes it easier for animals to avoid people. By day, city bats sleep in clock towers and church steeples. Raccoons often make their homes in the crowded suburbs. At night, they sneak into people's yards to raid garbage cans. Sometimes, raccoons live in big city parks surrounded by busy streets. No one really knows how they got there. Most park visitors never guess that raccoons are around. You may even have a nocturnal animal living in your own home. Night is a pet hamster's favorite time for running in its exercise wheel. Cats can be active anytime, but they often explore the house while their owners are sleeping. When morning comes, human families wake up. Children are getting dressed for school. Their parents are busy in the kitchen making breakfast. Soon, the school bus will come. But for nocturnal animals, sunrise is bedtime. The pet cat settles down for a nap. The hamster curls up in a ball and falls sound asleep. Out by the pond, the bats are returning to roost in the shed. The raccoon family is asleep in a hollow tree. The skunks and the fox are snug in their dens. Because they are busy when we are asleep, we do not see nocturnal animals very often, but they are all around us. They are a part of our world.